All right. So had this this video shared to me by a guy called Average Carpentry Skills. It was a reply comment on one of my recent videos. Anyway, this is a video by 616 Entertainment, and we're going to go check out what he has to say about what happened to Mortal Kombat. Let's go.
Is all happening at the same time, and none of it means anything. What happened to Mortal Kombat? That's what I want to talk about. What the hell happened? I understand that times change, technology changes, expectations change. Nothing can remain the same forever. Evolution is necessary, sure, but there's a right way to do things and a wrong way to do things.
I don't think it's necessary. I don't think you have to change much. Maybe graphical updates, sure, but they have fundamentally changed even the very nature and behavior of what MK is.
There are ways to take your established foundation and build up. We've seen Mortal Kombat do this a million times. They've had to, right? Any IP that persists and thrives for nearly 35 years has to. If they don't, they'll disappear. What you should never, ever do, though, is sacrifice what makes you who you are in order to hit that next arbitrary goal. And in some ways, I feel Mortal Kombat has made this mistake. It's a mistake that, in the short term...
I was about to say something controversial. Ah, fuck it, I'll say it. Looks like two dudes arguing over who's going to deliver the Uber.
Appears to be pretty costly. Today we'll explore what these mistakes and subsequent consequences could mean for the future of Mortal Kombat. As you might imagine, I've got a lot to say about this subject, but let me make one thing clear right here at the top. This is not some clickbait garbage. I don't hate Mortal Kombat all of a sudden. I'm not renouncing my 30-plus year fandom.
You know, it's sad that people even have to state that, right? Because everyone just thinks that just because you have a negative opinion, suddenly it's clickbait, right? That's why I never say it. I just don't give a shit what people think.
My favorite franchise over a couple clicks. I hope those of you who have been watching for years know that I'm not that kind of jabroni. I might be a different kind of jabroni, but I'm not that kind. It's the fact that I do love Mortal Kombat that makes me so passionate about this subject. And the truth of the matter is, I am not happy with where the series is right now. I think we're in a bad place, and if this course is not corrected very soon, it's only going to get worse. So join me in questioning what happened to Mortal Kombat.
You know, this is completely unrelated, right? But every time this dude kind of moves his head, his beanie kind of bows out. It's just throwing me off.
Video here on 616 Entertainment is made possible by my supporters over on Patreon. If you enjoyed the show here today, consider signing up. You'll get early access, exclusive videos, and podcasts and more. Pro Wrestling Tees has the merch. As always, thank you for watching.
Baked beans and a reaction video to Mortal Kombat. My night is complete.
Now, I stated there that you should never sacrifice what makes you who you are in order to hit the next goal, whatever it may or may not be. And I can feel it. I can feel that some of you are thinking, Mortal Kombat hasn't lost its edge. Not in the violence department. As a matter of fact, Mortal Kombat is more violent than ever. And to that, I say, I agree with you.
So, the cat nearly landed in my dinner, right? I don't understand this, right? I play videos on my channel, so does Total MK. Full fatalities, gore, everything, and we never ever get censored, restricted, or demonetized. If you are trying to and I have a feeling it's because they're trying to get the video out to every age bracket out there probably, and that's the mistake, right? You can't do that. That's when you'll run into actual issues. So, yeah. Not good. Let's continue.
I've spoken those words myself many times. But here's the deal. I'm not talking about violence. I'm not talking about violence because, and this is another thing I've stated many times over the years, violence is not the one and only thing that makes Mortal Kombat what it is. It's clearly a key factor. Yes, it would be stupid to pretend that it isn't. Remember MK versus DC Universe? Remember when that game was rated T for teen because Warner Brothers didn't want their heroic characters being disemboweled and whatnot? Yeah, that went over well. MK vs. DC is an awesome game. I'm personally of the mind that a good deal of the negativity levied in its direction can be attributed specifically to people who value one thing and one thing only. That being horrifically grotesque fatalities. And let me be super clear, I do love the violence. I don't want it to go anywhere. It's a staple. But it's not what I'm talking about. Yeah, and I'm glad that's not what I'm talking about because I'm forced to censor some of this stuff nowadays, or else YouTube punishes me and takes away my monetization.
Listen, listen. I'm trying to eat my food. I've got to pause and do all this other stuff. The cat's trying to eat my food. I'm spitting baked beans everywhere. Listen. It's not the fact of the violence. It's the fact of how gruesome it is. It's literally like torture porn now. Right? And to be honest, like, it's like these characters absolutely love doing it. Right? That's what's changed. It's this, yeah, anyway.
Censored version of this video over on Patreon. I'm sorry I have to do it like this. It's not up to me. Trust me.
Who's your queen?
Not you, bitch.
Fatality. Sindel wins.
So if I'm not talking about fatalities and blood, then where am I coming from? I hear you. Let's take a ride. What do Reptile, Smoke, Rain, Jade, and Noob Saibot have in common? Outside of being palette swap ninjas, obviously. You give up? At one point in time, they were all just rumors. They were like the Candyman, a whisper in the classroom, a story on the playground, you know? In the early 90s, kids could come to school and tell their friends, dude, there's a green Sub-Zero. He's like a green Scorpion too. He's like both of them mixed together. I don't know what happened. He fell out of the sky and said something weird. I don't remember. Usually the friend would say, how did it happen? And the answer would be, oh, I don't know. And when you can't recreate something like that, it feels like a lie.
That's a shit
It was
friend.
fun, man. Great times. Eventually, that skeptical friend would be playing and Reptile would show up. And then that friend would come to school and be like, yo, I saw him! And you'd be like, I told you, man! How about another one? Smoke peeking from behind the trees in the living forest. Jade peeking from behind the trees. Like, whoa. A gray ninja? Holy shit, a green katana? Who is that? Is that Katana's sister or something? It was the same deal as Reptile. These characters were in Mortal Kombat 2, but finding them and fighting them was not gonna be easy. These sorts of mysterious figures hiding in the backgrounds made it feel like there could be secrets everywhere. As the player...
This is what Total MK's talks about. It's one of the reasons why Floyd was so popular, even to a new generation, is because secrets was also a major factor with MK, right? It felt like there was always something lurking in the background that you were just waiting to discover, right? And then they just completely got rid of it.
We were never sure what the hell was coming next. I've been playing this game forever, but have I seen everything there is to see? Or is there still someone else I haven't found yet? Remember, there was a time where we didn't even know these characters' names. We just knew that they were watching us and that there had to be more than just a pop-in from behind a tree, right?
Yeah.
For a different but similar situation, how about Blaze? How about Ermac? These specifically were characters that did not exist. We created them in our minds because we couldn't help ourselves. The character who would eventually be known as Blaze was just a shrunken down Liu Kang sprite used as background decoration.
True.
Ermac? He was a glitch. It was text appearing in the game's debug menu and alleged visual bugs that led players to create these tales of a super real, totally existent red ninja. Hell, remember that magazine that didn't get the
It
Ermac
is
memo
real.
and they created a lie about a character named Red Robin? I'm telling you, this was it.
There was another one. I got a video on the channel. Right, they did another one. It was April Fool's. We had Pedro, we had Gonads, and there was somebody else.
There are more of these stories, many more. I can't tell you about all of them because we'd be here all day. The point I'm getting at is this element of uncertainty, never truly knowing if we had uncovered every stone. It's dead. It's gone. And NetherRealm Studios were the ones who killed it. Allow me.
Imagine naming your actual company Hell. Thank you, baby. Like actual Hell. Not Earthrealm Studios, not... what would have been best would have been Outworld Studios. I think that would have been absolutely perfect. Right? Well, what do they do?
To explain. With Mortal Kombat 9, we traveled back in time. Everything that had occurred up to this point still happened. It's not like all of our established events were retconned or anything.
Yeah, it's like in Star
We
Trek.
simply had a
when they did the
Raiden
new
who
movies.
sent a message back in time to his younger self. This newly gained information set him on a quest to change the future, and in many ways, it did. Just not in the ways he'd intended. After time traveling with the story of MK9, Mortal Kombat X showed up, and oh my god, we're time jumping again. All over the place. We jump 25 years ahead. We flash back to relive things that happened during the jump. Goodness gracious.
You know what's funny?
We're getting a little...
You know what's funny? It's like MK9 aged better than MK10 graphically. Right, and I play these on PC, so I know. Like, I'm getting the top tier graphics when it comes to these games. And MK9 fundamentally looks better than MK10.
little crazy here. With Mortal Kombat 11, holy shit! Not only are we time traveling, we've now introduced the concept of timelines and generations. Young Johnny Cage is annoying current day Johnny Cage. Modern day Sonya Blade dies, but her younger self is still here as she hasn't lived her full life yet. Kano's younger self being killed blinks the modern Kano out of existence, because now he'll never live to see that age that he's currently at. It's a lot. Time travel, time travel with overlap. These stories are stacking up and making things messier than they'd ever been, which is really saying something when it comes to Mortal Kombat. So MK11 culminates with Liu Kang wiping the slate clean. Back in time to find the great Kung Lao, who longtime fans will know was really like the original Earthrealm babyface. He was the good guy's longtime champion who was eventually killed by Goro, leading to Outworld's many wins and the plot of the original Mortal Kombat game.
See this shot right here? Right? I would like to go to NetherRealm Studios. I would like to talk to the person that looked at this when they were making the MK1 story and thought, nah, we're not going to use that. This is what angers me the most about MK1. It should have been a prequel. It should have been... What MK1 could have been was showing the foundation of everything. Everything. Right? How the Mortal Kombat tournament came to be. Why these characters... Like a whole host of original brand new MK characters, including some favorites, like, obviously, like... Well, it's Kung Lao, but it's different, right? It's not going to be like the hat toss in Kung Lao, right? Could have been all of that. We could have seen the formation of Shang Tsung's island. Right? All this sort of shit. Stuff in my teeth. But nah, what do we get? We get stupid ass comedy dribble, right? With Cage and Kung Lao. We get a fucking Wish version of Raiden. We don't even get the real Hanzo. Right? And to be fair, I have defended that storyline saying, like, because originally John Tobias wanted them as brothers, Sub-Zero and Scorpion, right? So I'm like, okay, I'll give it a chance, alright? Because John Tobias is the man. He is the story man, right? However, look where it ended up. You know what I mean? Like like Kuai Liang is supposed to be. He's supposed to be Sub-Zero, like younger brother, right? He's not supposed to be Scorpion, right? And we are supposed to have the true Scorpion, Hanzo.
So coming back to the Great Kung Lao meant that nothing we knew had even occurred yet. This is as far back as you can possibly go. I remember being so excited, wondering what it was that they were gonna do next.
Yeah, MK11 was a pile of dog shit. I mean the dog shit, you know, that you get on your boot and you go out into the grass once you walked in the house after you realize you stepped on it and you're rubbing it on the grass to get rid of. That's what MK11 is. MK10 is on the other boot. But this ending made me think, okay, alright, okay. Let's see where we're going. Give us the prequel. I still can't get it. I still am traumatized to this day that we still didn't get an actual prequel. Imagine how epic that would have been. Like, epic. Take it all the way back. Super serious tone. Right? Just full mystical Asian feel. Oh, it just would have been bellissimo.
Does NetherRealm really have the balls to wash it all away? Look, when the Great Kung Lao was banging, there was no Scorpion. There was no Sub-Zero. Liu Kang wasn't a twinkle in his parents' eye. Johnny Cage, Sonya Blade, Kano, none of them even existed.
Thank God.
This reveal
and I'm not saying because it's bad, but what I'm saying is, like, yes, I would take a Mortal Kombat game, right, with almost a brand new cast, related to the time frame of the Great Kung Lao, or the Great Kung Lao becoming the Great Kung Lao. And I can say that because the comics have sort of hinted at, you know, they've showcased different characters, whether it be in the current timeline or not. The comics back in the 90s proved that they could create these brand new, awesome looking characters. That's what they should have done.
Basically set the table for Mortal Kombat 12 to have a roster consisting of entirely original characters. This was the Great Reset. And then it wasn't.
I see what you did. I see what he did there.
Mortal Kombat 12 was officially revealed as Mortal Kombat 1, keeping with the theme of going back to the very beginning. I get it. What I don't get is why that's not what Mortal Kombat 1 ended up being. At all. Did NetherRealm really have the balls to wash it all away? No, they didn't.
No.
And not only did they not really go with the Great Reset, they didn't reset anything. There is no Great Kung Lao. Forget you saw that. We're jumping forward multiple generations. Now, why are we doing that? We're doing that so that Sub-Zero can be here, and Scorpion, and Johnny Cage. And not only are all of these characters still here, our main bad guy is literally the bad guy from the last game. And I don't mean like, oh, it's a different version of Shang Tsung. No, it's the same fucking guy. He survived in the new era. That was all the marketing. New era, new era, new era.
So what they should have done, right? There's two things they should have done. They should have called this game Mortal Kombat New Era. They refer to the game when they talk about it in publication as the New Era. So they just should have left it as the New Era. And of course, the other option is obviously doing an actual, like, you know, prequel thing. Now, I'll be honest, like, I'm a massive Mortal Kombat fan, and I would be completely okay with that, right? Because we would have seen the formation of, like, say, the Lin Kuei, perhaps the Black Dragon, right? They could have given us a prequel series, right, that has, like, the ability to tell us multiple prequel stories to see the formation of how a lot of these things came to be, right? We could have seen, like, we could have been introduced to brand new characters like, say, Jax's mum and dad or Sonya's mum and dad. We could have seen, you know, like, the birthplace of the Black Dragon, the Red Dragon, you know, that sort of stuff. We could have even, like I don't know, like, you could just, it'd just be mind-blowing, right? And that's just me. Imagine a guy like Tobias helming something so incredibly important as the prequel series to Mortal Kombat, and that's what they pumped. Oh, dude.
In the new era, the stars of the show are the old era. And not only is every member of the roster somebody from the old guard, we've held on to time travel. And now, we're introducing the multiverse. Yes, not only is everyone back, but millions of different versions of them are back as well.
You know why they did that, by the way? Because it's lazy programming. Right? It's fucking lazy. When you look at that shot, you know, where you have to choose your character before you go up the pyramid, look at all the duplicates. It looks fucking stupid. It looks like some cheap Photoshop job. Right? What? You know, why do we only have duplicates of those certain types of characters? Why is not every character in there, and then duplicates of those characters there as well? No, because it's lazy. How does a team that is so much bigger than what we got in the Armageddon days, incapable of doing that? Because it's lazy.
Literally any random generation of combining Scorpion with Sonya, or Johnny Cage with Melina, or Sub-Zero with Reptile, or Rain with Baraka, it's all here at the same time. And there's no rhyme or reason to the combinations. It's just a random spin of the multiversal wheel. When
just for clarity's sake, the cat, I think, tried to get my food. Right. And then now my food is all over the floor. So let's continue.
Everything is happening, none of it matters. We used to be able to wonder and fantasize about, like, oh, dude, could you imagine a Sub-Zero that was, like, with the Black Dragon and he's got, like, Kano's steel thing on his face? That's in there. Could you imagine a Katana that had Scorpion's spear and the flaming skull? That's in there, too. The mystery of imagination, the possibilities of the unknown becoming reality, has been removed. It has been taken away from us because there no longer is an unknown.
Now, to be fair, like the Creator Fighter type stuff that we got, you know, so all these different types of variations and stuff, that's Creator Fighter. They put Creator Fighter in MK1 without the option for us to create our own fighter.
Everything exists at the same time. So we no longer have to fantasize. No, we no longer get to fantasize about this or that because it's all just here. There's a dream mashup of your favorite and second favorite fighters of all time. She's right over there. There's a combination of references to the past, but modernized in a weird way you didn't expect. Right over there. You can't play as any of these characters, you do not have the choice to interact with any of them, you don't get to unlock them, and you don't even get to learn about the secrets of their past because they have no past. They are nothing. They don't really exist. Meanwhile, everything and everyone and anything that ever could happen is happening and is here all at the same time because a quintillion timelines from the fucking multiverse have all converged to sell you more DLC. All this...
Yeah, they need to fire Dominic. Give him another job. I hear the janitor's position's open.
Despite this being the great reset of the new era.
Again, like Ed Boon did say in an interview, he said, don't worry, everyone's going to end up back in the position basically what they were. So what's the point? That's why you don't do a reset. That's why you don't do multiple timelines. Right? You do a prequel. And considering we technically have two timelines now, we got the original timeline, and then we've got the MK9, essentially like sidestep timeline, right? I would make the next two, if I had to make two Mortal Kombat games, I would make one as a prequel. I would also then take it back to, say, MK9s. Actually, you know what? I scrapped that idea. I changed my mind. We take it all the way back to the end of Trilogy. Or, you know, the MK3 series and go from there. Because I didn't care for Shinnok. I don't think Shinnok's a threat. I don't find Shinnok a threatening boss at all. Shao Kahn, to me, is always and will forever be, right, the boss, right, in some capacity. Right, and even if he's locked away or whatever, then the bad guys in the game are trying to release him or something like that, right? That's what I do.
What could and should have been whispers in the classroom and conversations at the water cooler that might someday become a reality years from now are boiled down to randomly generated and stitched together parts to make you go, whoa, for the duration of one fight, never to be thought of, referenced, or followed up on ever again. Everything you and everyone else could ever imagine is all happening at the same time, and none of it means anything. The end of the story shows us Havoc, a character we hadn't really seen in any real way outside of Armageddon in almost 20 years, and he's established as the main bad guy for this DLC expansion.
Man, I was buying that
This
shit.
could have been incredible. Like, holy fuck, Havoc.
Settle. Pump the brakes, bro. No. There is nothing about Havoc that makes him a great boss except for him running around like he's the Joker on crack, going chaos every 5 seconds. There's nothing about him that's threatening, right? Because the character is not imposing, right? Shang Tsung is an imposing boss. Quan Chi is an imposing boss, right? Because they have been established for so long to be imposing bosses. And of course, obviously, we have sub-bosses like Goro, Kintaro, Motaro, Shao Kahn, right? They're all imposing for a reason. Havoc's not imposing. It doesn't even, like, even when you try and like make him that way, he wasn't threatening at all. He's just out of his tree.
Havoc? Dude, I thought he was long gone. Havoc's been missing since, like, Deception. He's a major deal now? He's a super badass now? Whoa. But that's not how we felt, because Havoc is a playable character in Mortal Kombat 1. He was in the story mode. We already had that whoa, Havoc moment, and not only did we see him, but we fought him. We kicked his ass multiple times. The big reveal moment of whoa, Havoc is gone. You blew it.
Yep.
But in a way, I'm glad they did this, because
I hate this Aztec look, by the way. Right? There's been a theme I've noticed with like some of the NRS like MK titles where they've started to delve into like Middle Eastern. They got the freaking like fucking Prince of Persia shoes with the little curvy point, right? They got that style, right? That they started introducing in MK10, and then we get this Aztec crap, right? I hate it. It doesn't feel like MK. It feels like something else, like another game.
it perfectly illustrates my point. Havoc's back! Oh, he's still a jobber. Never mind. Actually, Havoc again, and now he's also the ultimate bad guy?
Look at him, his little. He went to play some skirmish, right? The fucking paint range. That's what it looks like. He looks like he got hit by like, what's that? 5 other teams' colors? 6 other teams' colors?
You don't get to do this. This is not how stories work. This is not how anything works. When everything is happening, there are no stakes. And when there are no stakes, nothing matters.
That's right.
You should never, ever sacrifice who you are in order to fit in with the cool kids and to be popular in the short term. And by adopting this Marvel DC multiverse horse shit, I am of the mind that Mortal Kombat has sacrificed the sanctity of secrecy. And that secrecy, that flavor of the unknown, that contagious conversation of, dude, did you have like a weird guy show up during one of your fights, or was that just me? That is what makes Mortal Kombat what it is. We've seen the reaction to the sacrificing of who you are, the consequence of belittling the sanctity of secrecy. Mortal Kombat 1 has sold a few million copies, but
I'm sorry, it's just like, when they try and make these characters look tough, look at
consequence
the
of
way,
belittling the sanctity of secrecy.
just look at the way Li Mei walks
See?
in, right?
Mortal Kombat 1
Dude, it's fucking pathetic. It's just pathetic,
has sold a few million copies, but it's not selling like MK11 did. The story expansion with other Havoc reportedly did not do well at all. So poorly, in fact, that it's rumored that the follow-up expansion has been outright canceled. This approach to Mortal Kombat is being rejected, and while I don't normally revel in the failures of franchises I enjoy, I think this one is well warranted.
I do.
Multi
I do, because sometimes because sometimes things need to fail. Mortal Kombat has to fail. It's a joke. It's an absolute laughing stock, right? What made Mortal Kombat great wasn't its competitive side. It wasn't, you know, this like overabundance of violence. Because when you think about it, like MK3, I was talking about this with Total MK the other day. MK3 actually toned down the violence, right? So in MK1 and 2, you know, when they did like some of the bloody stuff, not the burning, but the actual bloody stuff, it looked a little bit more visceral than what we got in MK3. In MK3, you know, like when Jax cuts them up or whatever, and they're just in pieces, like perfectly cut, like horizontal pieces, you know, right? Like it's like they kind of like made some of their fatalities a little bit more goofy, right? But I think MK2's fatalities were probably, I think, pinnacle perfect. I don't think you can top. I think they had it perfect, and they should have just kept doing that, right? And yeah, so.
Universal, no stakes, no point schlock is the antithesis of Mortal Kombat. Remember when Liu Kang told the
Noobsai Bot looks like he's wearing a fucking tea cozy on his head.
troops, "We are fighting for the fate of the world" in the movie?
We're fighting for the fate of the world.
That shit felt real, dude. That shit felt like, oh damn, alright, I gotta get my shit together. This is huge, right? Ironically, NetherRealm Studios planned to use MK1 to make the world, the universe, the rosters. By making them all titanically larger, none of it has ever felt smaller.
Yeah, those Titan battles is like... I just can't, man. Like, those Titan battles is just pathetic. Right? They're just a big, strong, multi-phase version of a normal character, and none of it is threatening. Right? Because it looks ridiculous.
So how do we pivot? How do we get out of this mess? Well, you tell me. I don't work for NetherRealm. I'm not going to waste my time coming up with some grand plan that nobody asked for that will never go anywhere and it doesn't matter in the long run. And I'm not going to waste your time by shouting it at you as if I have any authority here.
We're fighting for the fate of the world.
Okay. My one idea that I will share, and I will keep it brief, is this. Give us a third-person action RPG with Sub-Zero and Scorpion as the playable characters. This is a game that was in development in 2006. It was the sequel to Shaolin Monks, and it was canceled. Mortal Kombat Fire and Ice. Give us that, and go from there. And if I've got the pencil, this is going to be the Shaolin Monks universe, taking place between Mortal Kombat and Mortal Kombat 2. I could not possibly give less of a fuck if we never get back to this Mortal Kombat 1 timelines multiverse.
Fuck yeah, man, that's it. That's it, brother.
Bullshit. That this timeline
Fucking
can just stay
boom.
out there and go fuck itself for all I care. I don't want it anymore. What do you think? Let me know down in the comments. And by the way, welcome back to Mortal Kombat Monday. It's been a while, hasn't it? I could really use you in my corner over on patreon.com/616entertainment or right here under a YouTube channel membership. I really have to be careful with censorship when it comes to Mortal Kombat now, or else YouTube jumps up my ass, and it's a pain. It's not my call. I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you. Thank you for watching. I love you, and until next time, I will see you soon.
That was a really good video. I'll post a link in the description for you guys to go check it out at 616 Entertainment. I didn't even know he did Mortal Kombat Mondays, so that'll be actually pretty interesting because I've never heard of this dude before, right? But shout out to him. That was a great video. You know, it's good to see, you know, what people are thinking. It's good to see actually a video that wasn't focused on like, oh, the gameplay. That's all that matters is the game, you know, the frames, the gameplay, right? Like it was actually, you know, what the real essence of Mortal Kombat, you know, is one of the things that he touched on. This secrecy, you know, what's lurking in the shadows, what's in the dark, you know, what secrets are hiding that we haven't figured out yet. That's what made MK so great. Now it's just another run-of-the-mill fighting game slop where it's MK in name only, and everything that had the heart and soul of it has been stripped. I've always said that, you know, Mortal Kombat needs the Marvel Rivals treatment, not in the fact of having a third-person action game, in the fact that you let another company that actually wants to respect what was created, okay, and give them a shot with it. Now, just to finalize, if I had a dream, right, to have MK, if they suddenly said, right, Fate, you have all the power in the world to create the next Mortal Kombat, what would you do? I would get John Tobias back. He is the soul of MK. That's just a fact. Right? And he has been sorely missed for a very long time. Now, I know Vogel's a great story writer as well. And that's why Deception was pretty good. You know, and Armageddon and stuff, in terms of, like, you know, feeling like they were still MK games, despite the fact that I didn't care much for the 3D combat. But NetherRealm, whoa, fuck, man, jeez, right. So yeah, that's what I do. So that's what I do. So anyway, guys, I'll leave it there. Let me know what you think. Catch you next time.